Green Ventures Landscaping builds places you'll enjoy long after the final whistle. Upgrade your home with Green Ventures Landscaping. Design, build, maintain.
Hi there. Welcome to Huntington Bank. We're new here, but we've been around since 1866, and we believe that we should all get more from money.
Okay, like what?
Well, like bankers that take the time to learn your whole financial picture and help plan the best path with you.
That sounds good.
And accounts that automatically build your savings each day.
Ooh, I like that.
How about getting paid up to 2 days early?
Okay, now you're just showing off.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
At DePaul University, your dreams don't wait for opportunity. We meet 100% of each student's demonstrated financial need. Nothing should stand between you and your potential. Visit depauw.edu.
Looking for bold flavor and big-time vibes in Music City? Head to Social Cantina Nashville, right in the heart of historic Germantown. From crave-worthy tacos and fresh Mexican fare to legendary margaritas, it's the perfect stop before the show, after the game, or anytime you're feeling festive.
With daily specials, weekday happy hour, and a lively atmosphere, every visit brings the party. Social Cantina Nashville. Loud, social, flavorful, and unforgettable.
Live on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Good afternoon. I'm Connor Newt with your Game Center update. As SEC Media Days roll on from Tampa, Florida, yesterday was Vanderbilt Day, which meant head coach Clark Lee spoke to the media. Yesterday, Lee was asked about what Vanderbilt football will look like in life without Diego Pavia and how they can look to improve this season.
We have ground to cover yet, and I'm talking about to represent what 2026 Vanderbilt football will look like, but I know we have the pieces to do it.
Today is day 3 of SEC Media Days, featuring the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Florida Gators, the Ole Miss Rebels, and the Texas A&M Aggies. Stay tuned to 102.5 The Game for coverage, your home of SEC Media Days. In the NBA, the Miami Heat accidentally posted a link to schedule a live stream titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference, scheduled for a July 27th date. Miami Heat spokesperson told ESPN Shams Charania on Tuesday that the club's social media department was preparing for the possibility of James's signing and mistakenly posted the link to the team's YouTube page. The post has since been deleted. And tonight on 94.9 The Fan, it's Nashville Sounds Baseball as they are on the road to take on the Sugar Land Space Cowboys, AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros. Pre-game at 6:50 and first pitch at 7:05. For the Game Nashville Sports Network, I'm Connor Newt.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
35 years of the best sports talk in Nashville. It's the George Plaster Show with Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame quarterback Kelly Holcomb and young gun Lewis Maddox. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is a ridiculously busy Wednesday on the show. Beautiful day, hot, muggy. It's exactly what you would expect in July. Let me tell you a little bit about what we've got going on today. Mike Organ at 3:20. Then you will hear from Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer. He spoke a little while ago at SEC Football Media Days. At 4 o'clock on the button, Pete Golding, Ole Miss football coach, goes off a little bit on tampering, which has become a big deal for him. He and some schools have gotten into it. And then at 4:30 today, we will carry the press conference live of this Chattanooga Baylor running back who some people who have seen him, think he is a stud. David Gabriel Georges.
Georges.
Not gorgeous. Not gorgeous. Georges. Why did I screw that up?
I don't know.
Anyway, there are probably some women out there who think he's gorgeous. Anyway, we're going to carry that press conference live today at 4:30. Let me say up front, great job by Lewis Maddox to get this to happen, but also understand that we're not in control of this. So when we say 4:30, God only knows if that really works out that way. It feels like Mr. Georges did this for our show's benefit. He was trying to help his friend George, who he's never met before, and thus here we go. But again, I've been around the block a few times. When they say 4:30, who knows? Let's check in Murfreesboro with former NFL quarterback Kelly Holcomb. Kelly and I played golf earlier today in the Trevecca Golf Tournament designed to help Nate Moran's men's basketball team. Kelly can play. I think it's fair to say that I really can't. Kelly has some thoughts.
I actually thought George was a little bit better, Lewis, a little bit better than I remembered. He doesn't have much power. I mean, he's
Grandma.
80, 90. He's 80, 90 yards off the tee. I mean,
That's not true.
Okay,
Come on.
George, come back, George. How long is it?
150.
That's not much better.
No, I mean it's got some grandma to it.
Here's the thing that bit me in the rear end, Lewis. I found out that George is not truly a team player. Because every time we get on the dance path, we get on the green, other guys are trying to go around and gather their balls up. Maybe they didn't get on the green, and you look around and George is putting. Like, doesn't help anybody, don't let us line him up, not showing us the line. He just goes off and does what he wants to. And I'm like, George, are you kidding me?
Okay, here's rebuttal time.
No, hold on, George. Hold on. And I asked George, I said, where are you going, George? And every time I'm going right in the hole. And did he ever make one? Not a single one.
I've had.
Hey, but I heard y'all went 10 under as a group.
We did. We had a blast. At one point, as I was trying to move things along, I said to Kelly, and I quote, "Move over, you loser."
And then I was lining my ball up once, and George came back with, "We do have a show today at 3."
That's great.
Which was pretty good line.
So Kelly was nice enough to get a friend of his, Clayton Barker, who I nicknamed Clayton Kershaw. I got Chris Koutras, who was on fire early. I mean, the first 3-4 holes, and then Butch Harmon over here decides to start. You need to move the putter over a little to the left. No, a little bit to the right. No, in the middle. Oh, you're perfect. And all he did playing Butch Harmon was screw Chris Koutras up. Chris, if you're out there watching, my apologies.
I was trying to help him, George. I mean, we're lining up the hole this way. And Chris was lining up 80 feet to the left.
No, you do not need to play Butch Harmon.
You do not need to play golf again. Let's just go there.
Now that we could both agree on, but it was a blast. We had a good time. Insults were a dime a dozen.
And the great thing is the fastest tournament I've ever played in. We played it like a round of golf. We were finished at noon and we started at 8, which is awesome.
Yeah. So my hat's off to BGA grad Nate Moran. He put this thing together in like 3-4 weeks, and we had a really good time. So thank you. And now to the update. You do have an update, do you not?
Yeah, I've got an update.
Okay, well, then get on with it.
Glad you guys had fun this morning. I was building the show and making an update. So we'll start here in SEC Media Days. Greg Sankey came back out and was talking. He reiterated his stance on breakaway talks because that's been the conversation with everybody since he came out on Monday, the first day of Media Days, and spoke about that. He said the idea of the SEC creating its own rules is not a new thing and that they've been talking about it internally for a while, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a breakaway from the NCAA. So now I hear that and I'm kind of like, okay, now we're talking out of our head a little bit because you didn't say that on Monday.
Look, I'm not his biggest fan. I think he's a bit of a blowhard. He's certainly not Mike Slive. He's just not. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. For a long time, he was Mr. 16-team playoff. And then when he started to see that, well, there are some people out there that really like the 24, he comes back with, well, I'm not against 24. Well, I don't know about that. Kelly, he talks out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean, but people listen. He's the SEC commissioner,
He's the
so people listen to him.
Yeah.
First triple play of the MLB season happened last night as the Marlins turned a 5-4-3 triple play on Jose Altuve of the Astros in the bottom of the 8th. Houston still won the game 5-3 at home. But I'm sure you're happy to hear that an Astros team got a triple play turned on them.
They banged the trash can?
I don't think they would have in that situation.
That never stopped them a few years ago.
George can't get past that. Move over it, George. Let's go build a bridge.
Move on.
Yeah, when was that? I was like in middle school when that happened.
That was before you were born, Lewis. I mean, and he keeps bringing it up every day.
The Phillies lost in terrible fashion last night. I'm sure you're happy to hear this too. 2-1 was the final against the Dodgers, and here's how it happened. It was a base running blunder where in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out, there were runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Phillies. Ball was hit to 3rd. Both runners on 2nd and 3rd tried to advance. And then the third base runner was caught in a pickle between 3rd and home and was tagged out by the third baseman. And the runner going to 3rd then was tagged out trying to get back to 2nd, and it ended the game.
So I was actually watching it. It was JT Realmuto, who I think is a terrific catcher, a very good base runner. This is not like him. Now, did I shed any tears? Hell no.
I can remember when I was coaching baseball and I want to pull my hair out with these young kids because they get in base running blunders and they do it in the majors. So why would I mean, I almost had a heart attack a couple of times and they still do it when they get older. Wow.
All right, moving into some NBA stuff. And this is crazy. This is even a bigger blunder than what the Phillies did at the end of that game against the Dodgers last night.
This is a blunder.
Yes. Big time. And I don't know what to make of it because to me, it kind of sounds like this is a hint that this could be a possibility. But the Miami Heat posted a link on their social media to a July 27th scheduled live stream titled LeBron Introductory Press Conference. Team spokesperson came out either last night or today and stated that the post was a mistake and it was deleted.
Dumb. Not really bright. I remember, Kelly, when I was under a restraining order in 2003, as you recall, some legal issues, shall we say, litigious in nature. WLAC came out with this thing about we've got big news coming up by George, and everybody thought it was that I was going over there.
Big news by George.
By George. Here's the truth. We had never spoken.
That's how things happen, man.
They kind of used it. So the Miami Heat kind of rushed the deal a little bit. Now, the question is, does LeBron laugh about that? Or does LeBron say, kiss my butt, I'm not coming here?
I think it depends on if he is actually going.
I think he can pick wherever he wants to go. But it's also possible he's on the phone today with Pat Riley going, what the hell are you all doing?
And to me, it seems like maybe the decision's already been made and they messed up.
Maybe they moved a little quick.
Yeah.
By the way, Kelly.
Yes.
Guess who won their 15th game in a row today?
The Red Sox.
How about them Red Sox? Day-night doubleheader, win the opener 6-3. Take that, Yankees.
Does that still count for you from yesterday?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
we didn't put it in the graphic because we didn't think it counted.
Okay.
Steph Curry is going to have an exhibit in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The exhibit's going to be called Stephen Curry Beyond the Arc, and will have Olympic and championship artifacts tied to Curry's career, along with game-worn gear and archival footage of Curry's career. First time in the nearly 75-year history of the Hall that a current player is going to have his own dedicated exhibit in the building. Curry said he's honored, and it's not something that he takes for granted or lightly.
Could we make the claim the greatest shooter in the history of the game? Think about
I don't think it's a debate anymore.
Think about all the people that have been great players when you say the greatest shooter of all time. That's what he is.
It's Steph. And before Steph, it was Ray Allen. He's better than Ray Allen.
Yeah, he is better than Ray Allen. Absolutely.
The MLB Players Association has called for the draft system to stay the same. So 33 days after the league called for the draft to be cut from 20 rounds to 12, along with slashing amateur bonuses by more than $150 million across the league and preventing high school players from entering the draft, the MLBPA wants to keep the same system and even open up more doors for younger players within the league.
It feels like my golf game has a better shot of getting better than it does that they'll be playing next April.
You really
That's
think
a
that
pretty
you really
low
think they're
chance.
going to strike, George?
Yeah.
That quick?
Well, you call it whatever. The owners will lock them out in December. I just don't see anything that they're agreeing to.
Yeah.
They just seem this is, first of all, who's kidding who? This is a very pissy negotiation. Okay. This guy, Bruce Meyer, on the players' side, seems like he's pretty hardcore. Manfred, I don't think he knows what he's doing as commissioner. I don't think he helps this a lick. And I think before it's over, unless we are totally shocked, this is going to get really ugly.
I hate that because I hate it for the game, George. And we ask Danny all the time, but what are y'all's thoughts on fans? What do you think fans are feeling about that? Or do you think they're worried about it right now? They just watching baseball, not even caring?
Oh, no, I think the hardcore baseball fan, there's this cloud over the game right now. And with each passing day, the cloud looks like it's got some rain in it. Yeah. And by December, it'll probably be like a flash flood.
I agree.
I hate that.
John Summerall's opening presser at SEC Media Days as in his first season with Florida. It was actually kind of a funny moment. He spoke, whatever, but a phone of a media member went off during his opening monologue, and he stopped his monologue, addressed it, and said that if that happened in his meeting room, he would have kicked that player out of the meeting. He also stated in his opener that he took a little diss at Lane Kiffin and said that he did not envy the dilemma with Lane and Ole Miss that happened this last season.
Interesting.
A lot of people taking shots at Lane.
Yeah, but he and Lane are friends.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They're. I mean, I don't know how close friends they are, but being at Troy when I was there, he knows Lane. I think they're friends. I mean, Lane was talking about when he was at Tulane the last couple of years, this guy's going to be in the SEC, and lo and behold, he made it to Florida. And he's a really good coach. He's got a really good strength coach. He's got a really good staff. Don't be surprised when the Florida Gators start winning a lot of games.
I am in total agreement. How many more stories you got?
However many you want. Couple. I got 4 left.
Okay, let's go really quick. Lightning round.
Okay, so the ESPN layoffs list now sits like this: Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, Carl Ravitch, Tom Pelissero, David Lloyd, Stephania Bell, Charles Davis, Bart Scott, Andreas Hale, and Dan Hajducky. The network is in an active negotiation right now after all that was released to extend their relationship with Pat McAfee for a price of between $60 to $65 million per year. His current deal is around $30 million per year. So not a good look for ESPN, in my opinion. Pete Golding stated today that there's no ill will between him and Lane Kiffin. Golding said there's no beef between the two. Also was accused of tampering this offseason and proceeded to go on a 2-minute rant basically defending tampering. He was quoted saying, "Let's not act like recruiting in college football for the last 100 years has been the most moral thing that has ever existed." Which I agree with.
We're going to hear some of that at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we will. The Kansas City Chiefs have released their new renderings for their new stadium to open up in Kansas in 2031. So no more Arrowhead. I thought that was interesting. And then the final thing, Charlie Woods, Tiger Woods' son, he missed the cut at the U.S. Junior Am after a fan's phone in the audience interrupted his swing.
You know, I know it bothers them. It won't have any effect on my game.
Yeah, but you took a couple of do-overs today when people rode up and said something, George. And then I said something and George said, I'm going to do that one over. I don't need, and I don't think you said Butch Harmon, but I don't need your help.
No, who was it? I used, instead of Butch Harmon, I used Kerry Middlecoff.
I don't know.
We were going back a ways. Okay, a lot to happen on this show. Kelly earlier today, by the way, during the golf game, said that I am disorganized.
Well, Lewis has got us in the right space now.
Yeah.
Just like he said, he was trying to build a show, and you're out having fun, George. So which is
I'm over here and organize this. We're going to go to the break. Mike Organ from the Tennessean will join us on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
If you are struggling with back pain, neck pain, or stubborn nerve pain that hasn't responded to the usual medications or injections, listen closely. At the Dr. Gill Center, we help patients discover why they hurt and how to find relief without surgery. We are Middle Tennessee's leaders in back pain treatment and non-surgical spinal decompression, a gentle advanced technology designed to reduce pressure on the spine, restore space between discs, and help the body heal naturally. Our patients aren't just looking for another temporary fix. They want expertise. They want options they haven't been offered. They want a team that actually listens. And that's exactly what you'll find at the Dr. Gill Center. If you've been told there's nothing else to try or surgery is next, it's time for a different approach. Call 615-882-4838 or visit callmepainfree.com to schedule a comprehensive evaluation and see if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you. Make 2026 the year you get out of pain. Call 615-882-4838 today.
I trained my entire life to be the best. I was one of the fastest women in the entire country. But woke politics made me swim against a man, sharing the pool and the locker room. That's not just dangerous, it's degrading. Thank God for Marsha Blackburn. No one fights harder to protect us. Marsha Blackburn will always stand for strong women, because she's one of us.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
Treasurer Glenn Jacobs.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back on this Wednesday afternoon. I know that Mike Organ has got a lot going on. He's got about 10 minutes. So let's bring him on really quick. Mike, let's start with Music City Grand Prix. I felt bad for the organizers of it because every time you turned around, they had an obstacle to face. Talk to me about what it was like.
It was the old adage, if it could go wrong, it would go wrong, and it did. It started out way back, I guess, a year or two ago when Fox called Scott Borchetta and made the pitch, hey, how'd you like to be a part of the World Cup? And it was pitched to him as we're moving your race to the same day as the World Cup. We can't tell you what time to start it because we don't know what time the World Cup will end, but that's what's going to happen. And Scott, he accepted it and tried to make the best of it that he could. They showed the World Cup on a big screen and had a lot of soccer activities in the infield Sunday, trying to kind of bring in some World Cup fans to IndyCar. And I don't know how much that worked, but as a lot of us in the media being skeptical expected, the World Cup game went into overtime. So we were told the race would start at 4:35 without overtime. But that didn't happen because of the extended extra time that was put on the game. And so we're finally ready to start. And then rain hits. And we all expected it because it was in the radar since Friday, and it just kept getting closer and closer, and then it just unloaded on the track. And it had rained throughout the day, and they had dried it off, and all that effort was futile because of the rain that came after the soccer match. And so they called it off. They couldn't run it Sunday, moved it to Monday. Well, it was too hot to run on Sunday, and it was too wet to run on. It was too wet to run on Sunday, and it was too hot to run on Monday because temperatures of the heat index was about 110. So they shortened the race by 25 laps, and because you couldn't ask those guys to be in the car for 300 laps. I don't know how they did 225. And track temperature at the start of the race was 117 degrees, George, and it only got hotter after that. So they finally got it in, and from what I understand, some Fox affiliates didn't even carry it on Monday, and there may have been 1,500 to 2,000 people in the stands. It was a tough situation that the Music City Grand Prix was up against this year, and kudos to them for going through with it and for having a good race, and for having one of the top athletes in the last 10 years to win it, Alex Palou, who's won 4 out of the last 5 IndyCar championships, wins it and holds off hometown hero Joseph Newgarden, who finished second. So I talked enough, trying to just kind of encapsulate.
Oh yeah, crazy. So in 45 seconds, does this affect this race's future here?
Oh yeah, definitely. Last year it was the championship. It was the last race of the year. And while Palou dominates and usually has the championship either in hand or pretty much in hand by the time it gets here or gets to the finale, there's still a prestige about having the finale. And they lost that this year. It went back to Laguna and where it had been before it came here. So now it's, it's back to not the middle of the season, but the second half of the season, well into the second half of the season. And it's very hot here. You just can't expect fans to sit in those concrete bleachers when it's this hot. They had to lower the price of water to $1 on Sunday and Monday. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not a good situation. So, yeah, it definitely affects it going forward. I think the only way this race stays here is if they get it back downtown and get it on a date either earlier or later in the season, which I think IndyCar would want because it would be a spectacle that will do well TV ratings-wise. And as you know, George, that's all that matters. So if they can get it back downtown and make it a road race, then I think it stays here for a long stretch. If not, I think its days are limited. And Scott Borchetta is determined to get it back downtown. He faces a lot of obstacles with that new Titan Stadium going up, which it will be right in the where the paddock was before, and to keep it back down, get it back downtown, and keep the bridge incorporated is going to be tough. But that's the only way it stays here long term, in my opinion.
Kelly.
You just answered my question about that, so I'm going to go on. So all the talk now is SEC Media Days. We had Basilio on yesterday. We got you on today, and George brought up a good point the other day, Mike. I want to know, because Clark Lee keeps on getting up in front of people and talking about there's going to be a quarterback competition. Do you truly believe that there'll be a quarterback competition, or is it Jared Curtis's job to lose?
Well, I definitely know there's probably a lot of coach speak on Clark's behalf, and you know that's just the way you have to do. Otherwise, the other guy has no reason to show up, basically. But in this case, we haven't seen Jared on the college level. We haven't seen him up against this kind of competition. Now, Vanderbilt's schedule is such that it's perfect for Jared Curtis, for a new quarterback to come in with the first two opponents, because it's going to be an opportunity to get their feet on themselves. So I think that definitely gives Jared the edge in getting prepared. But if he's not where they want him to be by that first game, then I don't think they're going to force it. He's only played lower level high school football, so he hasn't seen the competition that he's going to come up against later in the season. Now, like I said, those first two games are going to be, something I think he can handle. But until we see him out there and know he can do it, or until he proves it. Now, of course, he went through spring, which was a big advantage for him, and been with the team since all the way back to the bowl game, which is crazy to think of, but he was with them in December. I think it's his, but I don't think that you can definitely say that it is until he proves himself, 2 weeks out.
Got time for Mike, one more, Kelly.
One more. What are your expectations? What do you think is a successful season for Vandy? They won 10 games, most ever. What do you think is successful for them this year?
I think we got to go back to 2 years ago and kind of have those kind of expectations. I think 7 wins is can't be frowned on. We're still talking about Vanderbilt, so I think if they were to win, I'm going to go ahead and say 6 or 7, because they just lost their best quarterback in the history of the school, in some people's opinion. Certainly the one that made the most impact. So I would say 6 or 7 would be okay. Now, but you asked my expectations, and my expectations would be 7. Now, I think if they could win 8 games, that would be considered a success. So I'm playing it safe and saying 7 wins are my expectation. Again, schedule's kind of, I think you start off 2-0, so then you only got to win 5 games to get to where I want you to be.
Lewis, can you and Mike get a question in 90 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask a real quick double-sided thing. We're talking about Vandy and their win total. What do you think the swing game is for Vandy on the schedule? From 6 games to maybe the same kind of production they had last year, from 9 to 10. And then on the Tennessee side of things, Mike, are you as sold on this DGG situation that he's going to commit to Tennessee today as it seems like everybody else in the country is right now?
Yeah, let me answer the second one first. I am. After talking to some people yesterday, I do believe that Georges is going to Tennessee. I think Tennessee has made a stronger push for him. I think Ohio State is prepared for that. And I think he's from Tennessee. I think the people close to him would like to see him stay here, stay close to home a little bit. So yeah, I'll be shocked if he doesn't commit to Tennessee. For your question about Vanderbilt, I think the Ole Miss game is the swing game. That's a game that you're not going to beat Georgia, so you're going to come off that, and you're going to really need to win at Ole Miss, and that's a winnable game with a new coaching staff, a lot of turnaround there. And then if you can win that, you can win Arkansas, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. So you're looking at possibly 4 straight wins right there. But to get to 4, you got to win that first one. So Ole Miss for me is a key game in Fayetteville season.
Mike, you hate to do this, but you got to run.
George, you stole your line from me. So
I love it. Hey, thanks for coming on here. I know you got a lot going on. Really appreciate it.
Enjoyed it, guys. Thanks so much.
See you, brother.
Mike Organ from the Tennessean. We moved quick. Let me tell you what else we got going on. In a minute, you'll hear from Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer. During the 4 o'clock hour, Ole Miss coach Pete Golding. Be interesting to see what level of going off about tampering he did. And then at 4:30, we're going to carry the press conference live of this Chattanooga Baylor running back who, in theory, is deciding between Tennessee and Ohio State. And those who have seen him say he is an absolute stud. We'll carry that at 4:30. Stay tuned. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville Sounds Baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
Clarksville, get ready. Because when the doors open at F&M Bank Arena, the noise rises.
At the Nashville Cats.
The walls shake. And the Cats take control. Fast plays. Big hits. Non-stop arena football. Get in the den. Get your season tickets now.
You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you.
Liberals don't get it, but it's pretty obvious. Their policies are messed up. That's why pro-Trump conservative Johnny Garrett spearheaded legislation banning men from playing girls' sports. Garrett's a married father of 3 and endorsed by Riley Gaines. Garrett will protect girls' sports and stop the radical left pushing sex changes for minors. We need more Tennessee in D.C., and Trump needs an ally. Vote conservative Johnny Garrett for Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, and I approve this message.
Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girls' sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back on this Wednesday afternoon. Don't forget, we will carry the press conference at 4:30 this afternoon of the Chattanooga Baylor running back, David Gabriel Georges.
Correct.
I guess I said that right, finally. A little Alabama football talk. Let's be honest. Nobody in their right mind would have wanted to succeed Nick Saban and all those national titles that he won in Tuscaloosa. That said, Kalen DeBoer, who had been at Washington and got the Huskies to a national title game, is the guy who agreed to it. 2 years in, still kind of hard to tell. Doesn't feel like Nick Saban, but he got himself a contract extension, and today he spoke at SEC Football Media Days in Tampa, Florida.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, Tommy, Jalen, or Kylie will raise it. Please give your name and affiliation when you ask your question. We're going to start. Let's start right here, middle aisle, second row.
Hey, Coach. EG from Yale, Alabama. You mentioned that continuity on your staff. How does that set you up for success this season from a coordinating perspective? And beyond the quarterback battle, what have you found yourself spending the most time on this offseason?
Yeah, I think just familiarity is so important. Just being around here this morning and doing different interviews, year 3 versus years 2, but especially versus year 1. And any time you have more familiarity, you understand who's around you, you understand the areas that are strengths, you understand the areas that are weaknesses. And so that continuity on our coaching staff is critical. It trickles down. You're not just coaching the coaches, but really what matters is what the players learn and what the players know. And so our coaching staff being on the same page, everyone gelling at the leadership level of the coaching staff will certainly trickle down and lead to that feeling of confidence, trust, and belief that you need amongst your players, which is the most important.
And we're going to stay on this front section, front row.
Nick Kelly, AL.com. Kalen, you've got a lot of new faces on the offensive line. Did you expect that change to lead to improvement from that group?
We lost some good players that got obviously first round draft picks, and like Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford, some good players, some great players, that we're certainly going to miss. But I am excited about the guys that either return, Michael Carroll, who took a lot of snaps for us. Will Sanders has taken a lot of snaps for us. There's some guys that are within our program, like a Jackson Lloyd. We brought in some players that have been at other places that have been on the football field, in the conference, outside the conference. What I appreciate about the guys who have come in, I guess really the whole unit as a whole, is how open they've been to just being coached, being taught, wanting to come together, feeding off of the energy or the talk around, it being an area that needs to be improved, but just focusing on really what they can control and not making it more than what it needs to be, but also understanding the urgency that needs to happen to be an elite group. I think, last year we had a number of guys that were in the mix, in the rotation. I think a lot of it's always there's a piece to it where we were trying to find the right combinations, but there was also a lot of times where it was out of necessity, injuries and other, where we needed to make those changes. And hopefully we can find a group here in fall camp that really gels well together, is the best unit as a whole. When communication is made, it's understood and it's communicated at a high level, to where everyone's on the same page, go out there and do their jobs. I think there's the physical tools across the board in our football team, but your question regarding offensive line, those physical tools are there. We have a younger group, But again, I think that leads to the eagerness that these guys have and the willingness to be coached, to be pushed, and that humility that they have, I think can certainly be seen in the work that they've been put in.
Coach, we're going to go over to our section on the far right, about midway back over on the right-hand side.
Morning, Coach Stephen Bernard, the league winners. There's been a lot of talk about the 9-game conference schedule. I wanted to talk about a big non-conference game that you guys have this year, which is the team you played last year at Florida State on September 19th. What's kind of the approach this year? I know there was a lot of hoopla, back and forth talk between the players last year, a little bit quiet, a little bit more quiet this year. So what's kind of been the approach from a coaching's perspective to these players this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, they're all these games are important. 9 conference games, each one of them. You can't worry about the next until you've taken care of your business, the one that's in front of you. You know, first and foremost for us, I mean, is East Carolina. You know, we got fall camp, but East Carolina, and then, you know, your reference to the Florida State game, I mean, that's certainly one that put us in a tough spot a year ago, and we got to make sure we're at our best. It's a home game for us. You know, we got to protect our own home turf there, and that goes for every game, not just that one. But it's one that just did put us in a tough spot. I thought our guys did a great job responding last year to the adversity that hit them pretty much smack in the face week 1, responding with winning 10 of the next 11. And so, you know, there's lessons and things that and moments you go through. And I think that moment actually made us stronger as a football program and as a football team for sure for the 2025 season, and something that we need to make sure we take and learn from going into the next couple months here as we get into 2026.
Coach, we'll go in the section right in front of me, 2 rows. Kirk.
Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Kaylin, you mentioned the running game. You clearly didn't run the ball well last year. Neither did Texas and Oklahoma, historically, you know, running back rich programs. Is that a continuing trend, do you think, in college football that just kind of is a trickle down from the NFL or rules changes? And do you think that's going to continue?
No, because I think we've had success running the football with the rules, though, and not much has changed since then. I think we just got to do a better job. I think our league and our schedule last year, we had some very good run defenses, very good defenses in general that we faced, especially in the latter half of the season. And so you still got to find ways to get the job done. And we understand where that bar's at on what it's going to take to accomplish getting the job done and being effective, running the ball at a high level. And so we got to work to accomplish that.
Okay, we'll stay right next door here in the center aisle.
Larry Carlson, History of Longhorn Sports. Coach, I was hoping maybe you could compare and contrast Keelan and Austin for us a little bit and where they are right now.
Yeah, guys that are in their different years as far as, you know, Austin going into his 4th year, really the 4th year in this system. Keelan going into his 2nd. So there's a little bit of a difference there. You know, I know that both of them would say what they know now versus what they even knew a year ago. I think especially in Keelan's case, when it comes to just football knowledge, of understanding of the offense, understanding of how you attack a defense, defensive structure. I think their reps have, you know, have helped them really take these big jumps, especially in the last 5 months. And I think last year helped them too, with the reps that we gave them. We're very intentional with how we distribute them. And so, you know, I think skill set wise, you're talking about, you know, much taller, bigger, you know, quarterback with Austin. Austin, I think, will surprise people when he really gets out and runs, because he runs very well, better, I think, than most people think. Keelan is very versatile that way. You know, has created with his legs, you know, as a high school football player. You can see it at times. It's hard to replicate when you're in practice and a guy's not live, and what that might lead to on the football field in a game. But both of them are more than capable. I think they're high-level elite quarterbacks. Fortunately, we have them both in our program, and it's going to be a competition that's going to lead to a tough decision. It's one that we're fortunate to have, and And it's going to be one that when we do make the decision that we'll be confident we'll do a great job, because they are two guys that are well respected by our entire football team because of how they work, who they are as people, and the production and what they look like on the football field.
Coach, we're going to go near the back of the room and the section to your right-hand side.
Hey, Coach. Rob Gregson, A to Z Sports. Obviously, a couple years ago, you had Ryan Coleman Williams burst onto the scene. Do you foresee a potential path for a running back like E.J. Crowell or wide receiver Cedarian Morgan to maybe do something similar?
Yeah, I think Ryan's freshman year was special. Big plays that he made in big moments. I think a lot of our freshmen that we have recruited over the last, I guess, the last year's class and this year's class, I think, guys that come in and be impact players for us. And so we will need, I think we won't need as many impact freshmen this year as we had last year. I think you could arguably say there's at least 6 guys that had starter reps the latter half of the season. Then guys that we were counting on as impact players. Ryan that year as a freshman was that guy. And we're going to need that from those guys that you mentioned, both EJ and Cedarian. I think are guys that we'll be looking to that could have an impact that is significant and one that's needed to help our football team. They put in the work. They're have a level of urgency, knowing that there's an opportunity for them to contribute at a high level. They have the capability as well.
So that's Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer. Kelly, the last time anybody saw this team play, it was in round 2 of the college football playoff, and Indiana, the eventual champion, beat the ever-living snot out of Alabama to the tune of 38-3. The margin and the way it felt did not sit well with Alabama people, and frankly, a lot of them don't think Kalen DeBoer deserved an extension. How do you feel about that?
Have no horse in the race, so I don't know how I feel about it, but they are very passionate in the state of Alabama about that. And you said it earlier, George. I cannot believe, you got to give it to Kalen DeBoer, whether he succeeds there or not, which I think he's done pretty good since he's been there. And it hadn't been up to Alabama standards with Nick Saban, but he's replacing a guy that is legendary there. He won, 6 national championships there? That's a tough ask for anybody, and for somebody to take on that responsibility and say, hey, I want that pressure on me. Everybody keeps saying, well, he's not going to be there anymore. You always hear things. I'm sure his family hears things. It's just a tough situation to be in, and they gave him a contract extension. I don't know if I would have given him a contract extension, but obviously they felt like that, hey, this is the guy that we wanted. I think Nick Saban was heavy in that corner when they ended up getting him, and I think he liked him. And I think he's done well there. He hasn't done what Nick Saban did, but it took Nick Saban a long time ago, and Nick Saban got beat by poor old Louisiana Monroe at the first year of his, Alabama career. I think it was Louisiana Monroe.
But hold on, Kelly. In that argument about poor old UL Monroe,
yeah,
Nick Saban left Kalen DeBoer a hell of a lot better stuff.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
What?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, he had to totally rebuild. Nick Saban did when he went there. Alabama was not the Alabama that I grew up watching under Paul Bear Bryant, and he had to do a lot of rebuilding. He got it to where it is now, and I think Kalen DeBoer kind of took it. I don't think Jalen Milroe was his guy, but I think last year that he just had to bite his tongue and say, hey, we've got to go with this young man because he's kind of the locker room, and I don't think he was his guy. So now we get to see what his guy is. I know he's talking about the Austin Mack and the Keelan Russell kid. I think they're battling for it. They're both talented guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. Just like Tennessee and Vanderbilt has QB questions, so does Alabama.
Lewis, here's what's interesting in their schedule. Now, I'll ignore the opener against East Carolina, although that may be dangerous to be doing. They go to Kentucky in week 2 and then a revenge game at home against Florida State in week 3. They host Georgia October 10th. Then they go to they go to Tennessee on the 17th, and then A&M at home on the 24th. There's one of those 3-week things I'm talking about that you're like, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
wow.
I think everybody in the SEC has a slate similar to that. I mean, obviously that's a tough one when you're going on the road so many times back to back to back in the SEC. It's not an easy road, but I want to go back to what we're talking about, this contract extension. I mean, I think George is right, and I'm a Tennessee fan, so this sounds biased, but he inherited a really good Alabama team from Nick Saban. And, it's kind of stayed stagnant or gotten a little worse since he's been there. I don't know if this contract extension is them saying they believe in Kalen DeBoer to be the guy for the future, or is that just smoke and mirrors that he needed that to show his status on the recruiting trail?
Or is it that the talk about him going to Michigan got a little too loud for their athletic department?
It might have gotten loud for the athletic department, but when that was a rumor, I can tell you the majority of the Alabama fan base was sitting there thinking, hey, that wouldn't be all that bad if we got rid of this guy right now. Just because they're that spoiled. I mean, I think any program in the country that's not Alabama or Ohio State or Georgia would be happy to have this guy in their room as the leader of their football team, but it's just not up to the standards of Alabama football.
Okay, so let's ask it this way. Deep down, Kelly, do you believe Kalen DeBoer is a 10-year coach at Alabama?
I don't think anybody can say that, George. I'm not sure. I think he's a really good ball coach. I really do. But I think he came in trying to be the antithesis of Nick Saban. He wanted to do everything. And you got to have your own personality. You got to have your own little idiosyncrasies about the way you go about stuff. You don't want to be what Nick Saban was. You can't carry that on because that's not who you are. And I think it was totally different for the guys. I don't know if they're held to the same standard, but I think it's going to take him time. And I know that he was left with a lot in the cupboard. I think he's done okay since he's been there, but now he can get his own quarterbacks. He can get his own way of coaching in there. I think it took a couple of years for him to get through that, especially like I said with Jalen Milroe. So I'm just interested to see how he does in the coming up. I don't know if he can stay there for 10 years because if you keep having the years like he's having, boy, you're going to have some really upset fans. And just like Lewis said, I don't think any one of them would have been upset if he went to Michigan,
and Kelly,
which is
on
kind of
top,
crazy to me.
Yeah, me too, because I do think he's done an okay job. And at the same time, I think that's kind of what's hurt him is the fact that he came in to replace Nick Saban. He's trying to find his own identity, but I think he's trying to play into being Saban at the same time, and he's kind of having a little bit of an identity crisis.
Okay, 3 o'clock hour is done. We'll talk Ole Miss to start the 4 o'clock, and then the press conference live of the Chattanooga Baylor running back, who everybody says is a stud, at 4:30. This is the George Plaster Show.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. A much cooler day in the forecast compared to the past several. We're still in the upper 80s, but no triple-digit heat index values for us this go-round. And finally drying out throughout the afternoon and staying dry until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
The Electronic Express outlet store in Madison is now open. Save up to 80% on brand name HD TVs and appliances, mattresses, furniture, and more. Like this Roku 50-inch smart 4K TV for just $169, or a Frigidaire 26.8 cubic foot fridge only $9.99. Plus, find huge savings on laundry, furniture, mattresses, and more with flexible financing and no credit check. But hurry, quantities are limited and it's first come, first served. Shop the Electronic Express outlet store in Madison today.
Welcome to Huntington Bank. We're new here, but we've been around since 1866.
Wow, that's a long time.
Long enough to know that insightful bankers, great products, and customer service make a big difference. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
In case you missed DVD.
Obviously, this is a dream come true. Like, I can go back before the Titans arrived in the city, and the thought of having something like the Super Bowl in Nashville was just, you'd be crazy.
DVD. Weekday afternoons at 3. Your sports live here on 102.5 The Game.
Hey guys, Big Joe here for our good friends over at Busy Bee. Listen, I am a Beehive member. I want you to be one as well because it's fantastic. And listen, get one free yearly Beehive membership to someone in your neighborhood. Now, the free membership must go to a family in your neighborhood. Beehive membership, buy one, get one offer is valid for the same or lesser value. Must present the offer at the time of service. So become a member of the Beehive Club. Go to busybeehvac.com. That's busybeehvac.com.
Call 775-7833.
Our Senator Marsha Blackburn and Representative John Rose are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Live on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Good afternoon. I'm Connor Newt with your Game Center update. As SEC Media Days roll on from Tampa, Florida, yesterday was Vanderbilt Day, which meant head coach Clark Lee spoke to the media. Yesterday, Lee was asked about what Vanderbilt football will look like in life without Diego Pavia and how they can look to improve this season.
We have ground to cover yet, and I'm talking about to represent what 2026 Vanderbilt football will look like, but I know we have the pieces to do it.
Today is day 3 of SEC Media Days, featuring the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Florida Gators, the Ole Miss Rebels, and the Texas A&M Aggies. Stay tuned to 102.5 The Game for coverage, your home of SEC Media Days. In the NBA, the Miami Heat accidentally posted a link to schedule a live stream titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference, scheduled for a July 27th date. Miami Heat spokesperson told ESPN Shams Charania on Tuesday that the club's social media department was preparing for the possibility of James's signing and mistakenly posted the link to the team's YouTube page. The post has since been deleted. And tonight on 94.9 The Fan, it's Nashville Sounds Baseball as they are on the road to take on the Sugar Land Space Cowboys, AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros. Pre-game at 6:50 and first pitch at 7:05. For the Game Nashville Sports Network, I'm Connor Newt.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Hour number 2 of the George Plaster Show, as always, kicking things off with the Apple Collision Center's stat of the day. George Kelly, I know this one too. Y'all ready for it?
Oh, wow.
Y'all probably get it too. But
Well-
it was literally an ESPN notification this morning that I got.
Okay.
With the
Hopefully
answer.
we get it.
Okay, here we go. Which MLB player has hit the farthest home run this year?
I don't pretend to know that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't listening either, Lewis.
Under
Even
tape
if I was
measures,
watching the broadcast, I wouldn't be listening to that.
It was an ESPN notification this morning that
we were
gave it out.
busy winning the Masters out at
Yeah.
Hermitage.
Yeah.
By the way, we had to use a drive of mine,
We
which
did
should
not.
embarrass. Yes, we did.
George, we did not.
The
You was
one
on a
that
par
landed
three.
on the green.
Yeah, it was on a par 3, Hoss.
Well, I mean, so what? You know, what
You didn't
let's
mention that
not
part.
let facts get in the way of a good story here. It's somebody probably at Colorado because there are tape measures galore. Their pitching staff stinks. I don't know who it is. Lay it on us.
Kelly, no guess.
No guess.
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Wonderful.
474 feet
Great.
last night against the Braves.
Wonderful. Great. I'm with
Oh,
George.
was it last night? Oh.
It was last night.
Oh.
Come on, George.
I guess I wanted to forget that.
That's 3 in a row. 3 days in a row. I'm the only one that's gotten the stat of the day right.
Well, you know what? You just are
You
God's
deserve
gift
a
to
raise,
sport.
Lewis.
Yeah.
You
Don't
deserve
tell
a
him.
raise, Lewis.
Don't tell him that. Okay. Officially, we welcome all of you into the 4 o'clock hour. And for about the 6th time, I'll remind you that at 4:30, we will carry the press conference live of this Chattanooga Baylor running back, David Gabriel Georges. I think I said it right.
Yeah.
Those who have seen him, and I haven't, say he's an absolute stud. Down to Tennessee and Ohio State. Most people think he's going orange. We'll find out in 28 minutes. But first, we're going to talk a little Ole Miss Rebel football. First, 3 of their first 4 games, pretty darn interesting. Neutral site, Nissan Stadium against Louisville on the Sunday night of Labor Day. Week 3, hosting Lanius Kiffin and LSU. Whew, that'll be exciting. And then, about the time they're trying to get over some hangover of that thing, they got to go to Florida in week 4. Wow. That's a pretty interesting September. Now,
Florida might have things figured out by then, too.
before we go to the Pete Golding press conference, let's just say it the way it is. I don't think Pete Golding is anything close to Lane Kiffin. And I wonder if before it's all over, Kelly, if Ole Miss fans end up having to say the same thing.
It's like the NFL. You're going to get fired at some point, George. We all get fired at some point in our lives, and I don't know how long you'll be there, but Lane Kiffin's already proven he's a really good football coach. Pete Golding is yet to do that. He got given something, Lane Kiffin left. He got given something. He took it a little ways. Still had some of the coaches on the staff that went with Lane. So it'll be interesting to see just how he does with, without the life jacket on this year.
So do you see any signs that make you believe, okay, he's going to be fine? Or on the other hand, warning signs? Anything yet, or is it too early?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I do think the young men that are on the ball club, I think they like him. I do think that. I think he's got the locker room right now, but we all know how fast that can change, especially in this transfer day. So it's going to be interesting to see just how he does without the life jacket on, like I just said, without Lane Kiffin's guys, this is his deal now. Last year, Lane kind of set that. He left, and then he was able to do what he did, but now it's all on him.
Ole Miss plays at Vandy on Saturday, October the 10th. Man, I guess all these teams have crazy schedules. So
every last one of them
have got a 3-4 week stretch that you're like, why not schedule the Seattle Seahawks while you're at it? Okay. Pete Golding earlier today at SEC Football Media Days.
Wow, what a fancy welcome there. Appreciate it, Greg. To start, obviously, Greg and his team and his office has been really unique. This spring, I have been in the SEC for 9 seasons now, but this spring, getting able to sit in those head coaching meetings and learn from Greg and his staff and all that they put into not only for our coaching staff, but for our players in this league. So just really admire Greg and his staff, or Greg for his leadership and what he does for this conference and for college football. So definitely wanted to tell him thank you. And then I think, having been at a lot of different places and having been at a place that had a lot of success in this league, I think when you start looking at programs, I think vertical alignment is so important. And what I mean by that, our chancellor, Glenn Boyce at Ole Miss, who's an Ole Miss grad, who was a former high school football coach, but his investment into athletics and into our athletic director, Keith Carter, is something that's been remarkable, that's really put us where we're at right now. So really, really thankful. Lusa to go to Oxford, now strictly a family decision. And it feels like, it was yesterday when that occurred over 3.5 years ago. But, the people there have embraced us. We've got family there. We got a lot of cousins there and all that. But the people and the quality of the people within that place and the community and how they embrace the school and our students, the way they impact the environment, not only at home games, but on a day-to-day, is something really, really remarkable that makes Ole Miss such a special place. So really appreciative to our students and to the community and the involvement of not only my family, but our program and our players. And I think if you come to Oxford and you come to a game, I think that's something that you definitely feel. I think obviously coming off the success of last year when you're going into an off season, you look at those lessons, that you kind of learned throughout the season and towards the end of the season when it didn't go exactly how you saw it going. And you try to figure out, all right, how can we do it better? And that's what we've been doing. To me, since January 9th, it's how you evaluate the program and how do we do it better and work harder to take every step, all right, in every area of our program to improve. And I think that's year in and year out. I think within that, when you look at improvement and when you look at consistency and performance at other places and places that I've been, stability and schemes are so important to that. And so I was really, really, really glad that I was able to retain a lot of really good staff on both sides of the ball, really on all three phases. And when you look at offense and keeping Joe Judge, who's done an unbelievable job, bringing John David Baker back, who was the co-offensive coordinator in 2023, that obviously had been in the system, went off, got his teeth cut, right? Called really good offenses at East Carolina, did a really good job to get him back, go to keep John Garrison as our offensive line coach, in a system that this will be the 7th year of that offensive system at Ole Miss. And then on the other side of the ball, to be able to keep B. Brown and that defensive staff and Randall Joyner and all those guys that have been with me for so long, to be able to keep that stability within that room, to be able to keep Coach Schoonover and our special teams. So we were able to keep stability, in all three phases, which I think is so important for development of your players, for freshmen to become sophomores and sophomores to become juniors, right, to learn more about those languages and those systems. So I was really fortunate to be able to keep and retain a lot of those guys. I think we've been really fortunate to add a lot of really, really good human beings into both sides of the ball. And it just so happened to be a very unique year to where a lot of these guys were former Ole Miss alum, and the Terrence Metcalfs of the world, and the Michael Spurlocks of the world, and the Moncriefs of the world, and the Marcus Woodsons of the world. And they've created so much value for our players, not only from a relationship standpoint, all right, but the investment into them and making them better human beings has been really awesome to see, in the spring. So really appreciative of our staff and of our players of how they've worked since January the 9th. We still know that there's a lot of work to be done. We know every season is independent of their own, right? The legacy of last year's team is over, right? We can learn from that, obviously, moving forward, which we have all spring, and how do we do certain things better and consistently do it, on a more consistent basis. But this is a new group, and we added 50 new players into the spring, 29 via transfer portal, and then 22 from a high school standpoint, and added a couple more of those in May to get us to 51. So seeing that gel and come together has been really cool. And part of that reason, I think, is 3 of the guys that we brought here today, obviously in Trinidad and Kewan and Will. Not only, obviously, y'all know they're really good players. I'm not going to talk to you about that. Y'all already know that. But, rule number 1 in our program is be a good dude. And that ain't too hard. And I got 2 boys, like Greg talked about. And I hope one day my 2 boys are like one of these 3. They're tough. They're competitive. They love football. That's who we look for, right, from a recruiting standpoint that we want into our program. But more importantly, they're good people. They affect the people around them in a really, really positive manner. And so it's been really cool to see a lot of really good players, new players come in, right? But they're adapted to the guys that have been there, right? And understand their culture and the expectation. And for them to bring them with them has been really cool to see. So super excited y'all get to hang out with Kewan, Trinidad, and Will because you'll see it when you're talking to them. Just awesome dudes, really good football players, but are a big part of the culture and where we're at. Because we got a lot of guys in our locker room like that. And it's really cool, and it's a really unique team. But we know every season brings challenges. Obviously, we're excited for the challenge. We know there's still a lot of work to do. Obviously, getting into camp here starting on August 6th, Got to stay healthy and making sure we're getting guys in the right spot. I think it's really important for us this year from a personnel standpoint. I think we've created a lot of depth across the board on both sides of the ball to make sure we're using those pieces effectively and hold them accountable. But really like where we're at and just really appreciative of our staff and our players and their hard work and excited and playing a really, really good Louisville team to start the season at a neutral site. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, Coach Golding. If you have a question, Tommy, Jalen, or Kylie will get a microphone to you. So we'll go ahead and go right over here in front of us, Coach, to the right-hand side.
Hey there, Pete. Sam Hutchins with the Clarion Ledger. Just now that you're mostly through your first offseason as a head coach, what's been the biggest difference between this offseason and the other ones at Ole Miss? And then what have you learned from that offseason as a head coach?
You know, the first thing, obviously, in kind of the turmoil of everything going on and the retention of people and getting the thing fixed is, you know, we had to hire a strength and conditioning coach because that's always the first thing you get back, you know, January 9th from the game. They get a little bit of a break, but then you start ready to, you know, for your off-season program. So bringing in Paul Constantine, number one, who was our number 2 when I was at Alabama. He was the number 2 with the Falcons. So he came from, you know, to us from Atlanta. And kind of switching that model in the weight room to a velocity-based training model, which is speed of the bar. And getting his staff because I feel like the game's now kind of a blend between college and NFL. I don't think it's old school college and it's not all the way to the NFL. So I thought it was really important to get an NFL mind that's been in this conference and had success, but also been at the NFL and be really smart on how do we set up our offseason, not only in the weight room from a strength and conditioning training standpoint, but from a football intelligence and football school and the spring model and all that. To me, it's not exactly the same like it used to be, based on how long the season is. So we kind of broke it up into 3 phases in the offseason, very much NFL, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And then we broke up the summer into block 1 and block 2. So different model for the players. You know, to me, when you're recruiting, all these guys want to get developed at their craft. So we look at it every day. There's an opportunity for guys to come into our building and develop and improve at their craft. So in order to do that, you have to have something every day. And so, you know, when our players are on campus, our coaches are on campus. And that's a model that I kind of changed from our previous places that we had been. But I like the progression. I like where we're at. They're about to come up on, you know, a discretionary week next week. So we're going to give them a week off, and then they'll have a little OTA model prior to fall camp. But a little different structure than they were used to. But, you know, I'm just really, really big on the why. And as long as you can tell them why, and all right, this is the reason why, and I hear the results. I think they've seen the results throughout the spring in their bodies and their speed and their jumps and all those things from a weight room standpoint. And then I think it's allowed us for coaches to really slow down the install to really be able to teach these 50 new guys that we got coming in that, you know, now it's not, hey, I hope they get it. You're investing a lot into these guys, right, in order to play in the fall. And we got to make sure that we're teaching it the right way and the right progression. So that definitely changed it up. But, you know, obviously, the principles are still the same as a foundation of strength and then conditioning and football intelligence, and then getting into our player run model.
Okay, we'll go in the section in front of me about 4 rows back.
Pete, Caleb Saylor, Super Talk, Mississippi. You spoke about how you've made some changes within the program, but going from defensive coordinator to head coach, how have you changed?
Well, I'm a little skinnier. You know, obviously, you know, when you're responsible for a side of the ball, you run it like it's your team. And so no different than a defensive unit meeting, right? There's things that you believe in that you want to make sure that you get across, but you also have really good other defensive coaches that you have to allow to coach. And so, you know, when I made the transition and I knew I was still going to call the defense by talking to other people, and that's really the only reason that was keeping me from taking a head job was I loved being a coordinator, was that I was going to hire guys that have to do all the head coach bullshit that I don't enjoy doing, where I can still focus on coaching football and being around our guys. And so part of the staff build of the Tom Lukes of the world and the Todd Cooley's of the world, right, and the Austin Thomases of the world, those guys around me are for that they handle all that crap, right, and they keep it off of my desk so that we can focus on still recruiting really good players and coaching good football. And so, you know, that piece to me was really, really important. So your staff meeting is a little bigger than your unit meeting was, right? Your team meeting is a little bigger than your defensive unit meeting was. But the principles are the same. And I think it's unique for me. I'd already been there 3.5 years. They knew why I came, and they knew I was staying regardless of the role. So that buy-in has been a little different. But the delegation piece is something that has been a process for me throughout it. Really, all right, what are you going to take your hands off and let them go do their job and get the hell out of their way, right? Instead of not trying to micromanage everything and everything's got to be perfect and all those things. But probably the delegation component, and then really deciding, no, hey, we're going to keep our focus here, right? And let Coach Cooley and let Tom Luke and let all those guys who are really good at their job handle that for you, which has been really, really awesome.
Okay, first of all, apologies on the BS word slipping out the way it did. Interesting that in the first, 12, 14 minutes, whatever that was, we never heard the name Trinidad Chambliss. To me, that's the biggest thing that happened in the offseason, was that a court ruled he can play. And Kelly, he looked like a perfect fit for what they're trying to do. The quarterback world. Why is he the perfect fit?
He was a perfect fit for what Lane Kiffin likes to do. He likes a guy that can run that zone read and can move a little bit and can throw the ball. And Trinidad Chambliss I think he won a national championship at D2 school, and then they scooped him up. And I don't think they didn't think he was going to start last year, I don't think. And then he ended up getting the job. And man, what a season he had. And then when all this stuff came down where he was trying to get another year, they didn't think he was going to get another year. Then he ends up getting another year. I think that's big for Pete Golden and his staff, because you've got a guy that's experienced, has been in big games, and I think the guys respect him. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but I think he runs that offense. And just like Pete Golden said, this offensive staff has been together for a long time. The offensive stuff has been there for a long time with Lane Kiffin. So this is just another year that he's going to be in the offense. And I've told you before, I think it takes time for guys to learn an offense. I don't know if you can do it in 2 years. He obviously did a really good job last year, and hopefully he can flourish again. But he is kind of the key to that whole deal, and luckily they got him back.
So let me ask both of you this. Every person that gets into coaching sort of says, when I become a head coach, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their own principles. Right. And Golding, based on Lane Kiffin's level of success, really has no choice but to do exactly what Lane Kiffin did. But do you think there's a point where he's like, screw it, we're going to do what me, the head coach, wants to do?
Well, there was a place in that press conference where he was talking about that, and I don't remember what it was, but there was some differences that they hadn't been held to a higher standard on. I think he said that earlier. And George, I've been in situations where I was with, and this is hard because it's human nature, but I've been with a guy that was an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, and he was a cool dude. And then the next day he gets a head coaching job. And I don't know where that guy went from yesterday, but this ain't the same dude. And I think that's a fine line right there, because I've told you this before. Locker rooms and teammates and guys that play under a guy, they know if you're phony or not. And I think Pete Golden is kind of, I'm not saying he's phony at all. I'm saying that the guys really like him. I think that they've seen him. I don't think they saw where he changed. Now, you have to change as a head coach when you're a coordinator to a head coach. There's a lot of things that you have to do, and he talked about it, all the garbage that and that BS word that he said, all the stuff that he didn't want to do.
Yeah.
He's got other guys doing it, but you do have to change. But guys know that when you become phony, they sense that. They don't like it. And I don't think Pete Golden's one of those guys that he is who he is, and that's who he's going to be. And I think guys love that, and they play for that.
I think he's just set up for success, honestly, because you get back the biggest piece of your entire team from a year ago, Trinidad, who was very close to winning a Heisman Trophy last year. You get him back. So the offense, pretty much running through him, you don't want to change a whole lot for Trinidad, because he was already spectacular at what he did do in that offense. And then for the defensive side of things, you appointed your defensive coordinator from in-house. That was your defensive coordinator last year as your head coach. So that's not going to change a whole lot. So, I mean, to me, it just looks like he's set up for success because Ole Miss is going to look the exact same pretty much, other than Pete Golding's mental stuff or how he runs the team internally. They're going to look pretty much the same on the field to me.
Okay, we're going to go to the break. When we come back, a little bit of commentary about this young man from Chattanooga, Baylor, David Gabriel Georges. Actually, Georges.
Georges.
I can't
Did you just
say
do
it.
that again? George,
I
what
did
are
do
you
it.
doing? Are you
Okay,
having
say
another
it.
elderly moment?
No, say it for me, Kelly.
It's just Georges.
Georges.
David Gabriel Georges.
I know. I butchered
I mean,
it.
it's just an S on your name, Hoss.
I
Figure it
know.
out.
I'm sorry. Okay. Whatever in the heck his name is.
I mean, are you having
we're
a
going
stroke
to
on
talk
air
about
here,
him.
George?
If he's in orange, he will be gorgeous.
Well, yeah. And then we'll find out, is it Tennessee or is there an Ohio State in his future?
Or Ole
We
Miss.
will carry the press conference live coming up next on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
People know now.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
In about 4 minutes, we believe we will go live to Chattanooga and you will hear the press conference. Easier for me to say DGG, but it's David Gabriel Georges of Chattanooga, Baylor. Thank you, Kelly. You've seen him live and in person.
Yeah.
Talk to me about him.
Man, it's like what I said yesterday. I think he's a really good player. He's a physical specimen. He reminds me a lot of the guy that I played with in Minnesota my last year, Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson was just if you think about what a running back looks like, that's what Adrian Peterson looked like. And he was full speed all the time. If you got in front of Adrian during a walkthrough, he's going to run you over. That's just how he was. I can see this young man being like that. He's got the physique for it. He's built. He's strong. He's very explosive. I'm sure he can lift a lot of weight in the weight room. But he's one of those guys that doesn't come around very often, and he could be. I don't know this. He could be a generational talent that people talk about a lot. So I know that Tony Basilio talked about it yesterday, but I can see why, if you're UT, you throw some money at him, man. He's a high school kid, and I think he may be one. If they have thrown a lot of money at him, he would be one of the high school kids. They don't really get that until they kind of prove themselves. But I can see him getting that type of money, and I can see Josh Heupel handing it out because he needs a good running back in his backfield, because that's truly what he likes to do. He likes to spread people out and run the football, and I think this would be a perfect fit for him. So hopefully we're not going to get an okey doke and him go to Ohio State. I'm sure that the Tennessee fans are listening to this and saying, like Lewis is over there, that he's going to be a Vol. But I think it's pretty special for those guys, and he is a special talent, that's for sure.
Kelly, I did a little research, or both of y'all, by the way, and looked on his Instagram last night. There's a video on there of him from last summer, or maybe earlier this summer. He put up 600 on the squat rack for 3.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, he like when you walk next to him, like he's just. There's some guys like that you come across, George, that I played with that are just different. It's kind of like the Javon Curse effect. I still see Javon at our alumni tournaments, and the dude's a specimen still.
Oh, he's amazing.
And there's just some guys that are like that, and this George's guys, he's like that. DGG is. He looks the part. He is the part. He can play the part. He's very explosive. He can run fast. He can run away from people. He can run over people. He can dodge people. The yard after contact is what you look for in a back, and he's got that as well. So he's got it all. I'm just interested to see where he goes. And then when he gets where he goes, is he going to turn out like we think he could?
Lewis, why did you bring up Ole Miss? I had not heard that before.
Those are the 3 schools that he has narrowed down his commitment to. Obviously, Ole Miss is the bottom tier of where he would go, but he's still considering them. It's pretty much believed that the decision has come down to Tennessee and Ohio State.
So what are we talking? Are we talking 1.5 million? Are we talking 2 million a year? What do we think we're talking?
I think we're talking 2. I really do. I really do.
Oh, wow.
I mean, especially
for a high school kid.
Yeah, I mean, especially since, if money wasn't an object here, my thought, based on his relationship with the Ohio State coach all the way back to his playing days in middle school, is how long he's known that guy, the coach at Ohio State, and they've had a relationship. Money wasn't an object here. I'd say he'd go to Ohio State. But the thing is, Tennessee has obviously probably paid way a lot of money for this guy, and that's probably why everybody's predicting him to go there.
So these press conference things are goofy. Who's giving me the signal as to when we go to Chattanooga?
We are waiting on it right now, and we might be getting it here in just a second. Are y'all okay? Still in commercials, so we're going to bring it here in just a second
on the Baylor radio network.
This is amazing to me that we are literally waiting. It's just like signing day we used to have in February, I guess, when these guys would have the hats around. And
oh, yeah.
It's become such a thing. And now DGG, and here we go. Let's go.
Stop there. Let's go to Chattanooga for the DGG presser.
Right here on HQ. So let's send things out to Tom Loy, who is with David and his family right now. Tom, take it away.
Thank you so much. Again, we're here in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the Baylor School for the announcement of 5-star running back David Gabriel Georges. You're down to 3 schools. We got Ole Miss, Ohio State, and Tennessee. But I got to ask, this place is packed with friends, family, teammates. How does it feel to finally be here on Commitment Day?
I feel grateful, and I'm really happy that all this work bring me here today, and yeah, feel blessed.
The last couple of weeks, the last couple of months have been kind of a whirlwind. I know there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of things being said, but for you personally, how have the last couple of weeks been just kind of dealing with this entire process?
It's been great. I've been meeting new coaches, a new person, and really been learning about football. So that was really like the part I loved the most about it. And just visiting those schools was pretty nice, and being around my family and make them see what's football here.
Can you, before we get to the actual commitment, can you please take a second? And I know it takes a village, and everybody up here, really everybody behind the camera as well, has factored into this. But can you introduce everybody here that's sharing in on this special day with you?
Here's my mom, my dad, my uncle, my little cousin, my sister, and my big brother.
Thank you all for having us here at CBS Sports. But I want to get towards the commitment, but I want to ask, we know how special the play you are. Before we got on here, I said you may be the best football player I've ever covered, scouted. It's incredible to watch what you do, but as talk to the fans at home. What is one of these three schools getting in you as a player, but also as a person?
Personally, I think it's more hard work, and I will always try to be better and just do my best.
As you were narrowing down to the three finalists, because you could have gone anywhere in the country, there wasn't a head coach out there that wouldn't have ignored your phone call. So when you were narrowing it down, what were you looking for in a school and a program?
So I will be comfortable around them, the person at the school, and the way they will use me and develop me.
Guys, who wants to know where he's going to school? All right, with that all being said, five-star running back David Gabriel Georges, please tell everybody where you're continuing your academic and athletic career.
First, I want to thank God for everything He has done for me and my family. If it wasn't for God, I won't be in this position today. Also, I want to thank my family, my coaches, and my teammates for your support through this process. And it has been a long journey with highs and lows, but I will forever be grateful for this opportunity to continue living my dream and playing the sports that I love. Now, to all the coaches that have recruited me these past few years, I thank y'all for your time and effort. I've built some long-lasting relationship, and I've learned so much from y'all, and I'm really, really, really grateful for that. I'm preparing to announce my final decision. I would like to say that it was probably the most difficult decision that I had to make in my life, and this decision was not taken lightly. With this decision, I am deciding to trust my heart, and I'm choosing the program where I feel the most like home for me and where I feel like I will be the most comfortable with achieving my goals. With that said, for the next 3 years, I choose to continue my academics and athletic career at
If you're wondering, he chose Tennessee. If you couldn't tell, now let's go back to it.
It really made me feel like home, and just being around those people and talking with the strength and conditioning coach. I just feel that it will be a great place for me, a great fit, and really feel like I could be developed and live with people that will enjoy practice and having fun with.
I know head coach Josh Heupel took a personal approach to you. You were priority number one, maybe the only priority down the stretch. But why is he the head coach you want to play for the next 3 years?
He made it clear that he really wanted me in the team and really wanted to use me as a weapon. And I think that's what really was the most that I've seen, and it was really great. And yeah.
Running back coach Terrell Sims played a big factor as well. To all the fans, Tennessee fans watching at home, talk about that relationship and how he impacted your decision.
We have got to the point where,
for example, my English my second language. So during those meetings, I'm out field with him. He's shown me ways that I can learn and like just be able to like talk with him and just if I don't understand something, it will just translate for me and just show me like I can learn from him.
Before we get you out of here, I know that there's a ton of Tennessee fans here, a ton of Tennessee fans watching at home. What's your message to Vol Nation?
I'm really grateful and thank you all for the support. And all I can say is I will always try to do better and get better to myself and do what I can do.
In my opinion, the best running back in the country is headed to Knoxville. Massive win for Tennessee, 5-star running back.
Okay, so David Gabriel Georges is now officially a Tennessee Vol. Where is the professionalism?
There is
I
none.
think Lewis is about to hyperventilate.
There is
think
none right
he
now,
is.
George.
Good Lord.
Here we go, baby.
Okay, so Kelly, you've seen him live and in person. Talk to me about how they will utilize him.
Well, I think it's good that he can go, just like I asked Tony the other day, talking to them. I think he can be an all down back. I truly do. Nowadays, you've gotten so specialized in things where you got a running back that'll go the first two, and then you'll bring if it's third down, you'll bring a receiving back in. And I think that he's one of those guys. If he can actually get out, and he's good with his hands, which I don't know that. I'm just speculating here, but if he's good with his hands, he can present matchup problems, just like when I played with Marshall Faulk in Indianapolis. Marshall Faulk, he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason, but he was a matchup problem for defenses. And when you split him out as a wide receiver, he could play wide receiver. And he was the best option route runner that I've ever been involved in. Like, it's not easy to teach people how to run option routes, but that guy was unbelievable in knowing who was covering him, knowing if it was zone, if he needed to widen in the zone or whatever he needed to do. He was just really good at it. And if you can teach a guy like that, if he's good out of the backfield and you can teach him, we know what he can do running the football, but that presents another challenge for defenses. If you can spread him out and he's good in space and he's good with catching the ball as a receiver, all they can do is help Tennessee and help Tennessee's offense and what Josh Heupel wants to do. And I think that's why they threw money at him as a high school kid, because I think that he fits what they want to do. And I'll say it for the third time. That's what Josh Heupel likes to do. He wants to spread you out and he wants to run the football. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. They had Hendon Hooker there and they thought, hey, all they want to do is go downfield. Well, he wants to run the football and then have play action and have things off the run game. And if this guy is what everybody thinks he can be, then that's a huge win for Tennessee and Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols.
Yeah, and Kelly, to add on to that real quick, he is a good weapon with his hands. And the thing is, and the thing that helped Marshall Faulk out so much is when you put a guy out like that, you motion him out of the backfield and he goes into kind of like a slot spot, he's going to be matched up with a linebacker.
Absolutely.
And DGG is 220 pounds and runs a 4.38. He was just clocked on laser earlier this week at a 4.38.
That's right.
If you're talking about matchup problems, that's a matchup big time problem.
And that's what I think he can present with this offense. If they can get him to understand. Now, high school and college is totally different, George. Just like college and the NFL is totally different. But if you can get him to understand stuff and you can utilize him that way, it presents problems for defenses, not only in the run game, but in the pass game, just like Lewis talked about, because you're going to get matched up on a linebacker. And if you're matched up on a linebacker with a guy that you're going to
win.
Yeah, you're going to win, but you got to figure out, like, he's got to be patient. Now, can he be patient? Marshall Faulk was the most unbelievably patient guy ever. Like, sometimes guys try to go too fast. Marshall was really smooth about doing stuff like that. Can he be smooth and do things like that? I don't know that, but if he can, that presents just a whole new deal for an offense that defenses are now having to look at him in the run game plus the pass game. That's a lot of advantage for the Vols offense.
Okay, both of you speculate for me because we're in different territory. In the old days, if you signed a DGG, immediately everybody else starts saying, I want to play with this guy. But now we're in an era where it's, well, I don't give a damn about DGG. I want my money.
Right.
So how much does that help in recruiting, or does it?
I don't know if it does anymore, George. I'll take the Kentucky basketball perspective. I don't think anybody cares about going to Kentucky. Like, used to be, that was one of the landing places you wanted to go, especially if you grew up in that state. But now it's, how much can you pay me? I don't care where I go. I don't care if I go to Wake Forest. I don't care if I go to Oregon State. If you're going to pay me a lot of money, I'm going to seriously think about it, and more than likely I'm going to go. So I don't know if it truly matters to these young kids nowadays who they want to play with or who's at the position and who that can complement their game. I just think they worry about how much money I'm going to get paid, and that's that's really sad to me, where we are in sports right now in college.
Yeah, there's a part of me that believes everything you just said, but a part of me also wants to believe that there are still highly touted guys out there that, want to go play and want to go win and want to go to a university that they actually want to go to. Is that the case anymore? I don't know, because I'm not listening to those conversations, but I can tell you this. I think it adds to Tennessee's resume that, what Tony said yesterday, they've got 4 out of the top 14 players in the class that are going to be playing on one roster together. And it's going to be something to watch.
So for a lot of people listening to this in this state, those that are Tennessee fans, there is this massive euphoria. I get it. Totally understand. Up in Columbus, I've been up there twice in the last 6 weeks. Everywhere you go, Buckeye peanut butter, Buckeye nails and hammer, Buckeye whatever. What do you think they're saying right now? And what level of heat might Ryan Day catch from a group that believes nobody outbids us? And somebody just did.
George, when you go to the state of Ohio, and I was in Cleveland for a long time, you've been there too the last couple of weeks. But the state of Ohio loves football, and it's a lot like this state here. The state of Tennessee is a Vols place. I mean, that's just the way it is. I know, George went to Vanderbilt, but it's a huge football place in the state of Ohio, and everybody wants to, when they're growing up there, they want to go to Ohio State. That's just the way it is, and they just reload. I think it would have been good if they got DGG, but I don't think they're worried about it near as much as we think they are. I think that they can get. They probably knew they probably knew the situation they were getting in with him being a Tennessee guy, and Tennessee was really wanting him. I don't know if I think they've got the cream of the crop in the state of Ohio, and they can go anywhere. When you got the Ohio State Buckeyes behind you, they lost this one, but they don't lose many. I promise you that, George.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that if this had flipped the other way around, it would have hurt Tennessee a whole lot more than it would have hurt, or than it has hurt Ohio State.
Now, the private school snob in me, Battleground Academy, has made the joke over the last couple of years that Chattanooga Baylor, Chattanooga Macaulay, that at their games they play the Canadian national anthem first.
They do.
I honestly don't know. By the way, don't get all uptight about this. It's just a little humor. How did he end up at Baylor? I don't really know.
George, one of my really good friends I played with at middle coaches at Macaulay, and Macaulay had the opportunity to get him, and Coach Potter, when he was there, he's not there anymore, but he kind of didn't answer the phone call. And you talk about the Canadian national anthem. My buddy has been going up there to Canada for the last decade, and he's been getting a lot of kids, and he's got a pipeline up there to those kids. And they know, those parents up there know that they can send them to Macaulay. And now my buddy, which I played with him, which Eric Westmoreland played at Tennessee a long time ago as a linebacker, but they're cousins. Now he's got a pipeline to Canada. So all those kids are coming down from Canada, and what's happening is they're coming down to these schools, and that's what these private schools in Nashville are upset about, because they get to board those kids down there. So They come and they board them down there, and these parents are seeing that, hey, they're going to these really good private schools in Chattanooga, but they're getting really big scholarship offers to these big schools. So that's kind of the thing that Chattanooga Baylor and Chattanooga Macaulay's got going for them right now. And hey, man, it's been that way for a while, George. It truly has. It's been that way for a while. And, you're kind of right, but he's from up there, and he had an opportunity to go to Macaulay, and he chose Baylor because his dad didn't get to talk to the head coach at Macaulay. So they were both fighting over him, and Baylor won out. But I think Tennessee has hit on a gem here. Now, we're going to see what he can really do when it goes to the next level, because the SEC is not anything close to what he's playing right now.
Okay, after the break, by the way, if you're just joining us and wondering what in the world we're talking about, this young man, David Gabriel Georges, I said it right, has committed officially to the University of Tennessee for big, big bucks. Probably never know the exact number, but look, I don't think we need to do a telethon. After the break, among other things, will be Plaster Bet of the Day, and the Red Sox tonight go after their 16th in a row. They won number 15 earlier today as part of a day-night doubleheader. They're going for number 16, which is insane. I love it.
Fenway's rocking.
Oh, Fenway is rocking, and it's something the Yankees can't brag about. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Are you tired of living with back pain? What would you do if the pain was gone?
At the Dr. Gill Center, we've helped thousands of people over the last 30 years break free from pain and get back to living life. We're committed to your outcomes, and our caring team listens, understands, and offers real solutions to neuropathy, back pain, and joint pain without unnecessary surgery or medication. Choose the clinic that listens. Choose the clinic that cares. Call the Dr. Gill Center today at 615-882-4838.
Let's make your pain-free life a reality.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville Sounds Baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
Clarksville, get ready. Because when the doors open at F&M Bank Arena, the noise rises. The walls shake. And the Cats take control. Fast plays. Big hits. Non-stop arena football. Get in the den. Get your season tickets now.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We're back. This thought just crossed my mind 20 minutes ago. David Gabriel Georges committed to the University of Tennessee. We carried the press conference live. Kelly Holcomb, not exactly chopped liver, from down at Lincoln County when he then went on to MTSU and 13 years in the NFL. I was about to ask him the question, back then, did any kids have press conferences to announce where they were going? But I look up, Kelly's blown us off. Where the hell is he?
There he is.
Yeah, what's he doing?
I don't know.
You know, Kelly, the show has started.
No, sorry, George.
So
I mean, sometimes you have to take breaks. You understand that?
No,
right?
I understand
Okay,
that. You
thank
do that on your time. No,
Okay.
seriously, Did you ever, back when you played, and I'm talking about on the high school level, did any hotshot recruit have a press conference?
George, I mean, this was in the 1980s, the end of the 80s and the early 90s. Really? Like, no,
I don't. I
nobody
mean,
had,
when did we
nobody had a
first?
yeah, but nobody
when
had a
did we-
press conference back then. And if they would have, I would have looked at him if he was on my team and said, "Hey, dude, we really don't care where you're going." Okay.
You would have been happy for him?
I'd have been happy for him, but I'd have told him that I didn't care.
I'm sure you were. Great teammate. So
Hey, it's just the way I am, George. You know that.
the other thing this does, and we talked about this a lot, and this is going to be a brief, like really quick discussion. No matter what happens at Tennessee this season, it's an automatic insurance policy for Josh Heupel.
I'm telling you.
Big
I'm
time.
telling you, man. I've said it the last couple of days. I think he had 2 insurance policies. I think if he starts Faison Brandon, he has 1 insurance policy, and now that he's got this, I think he has another one. I really do. I think coaches look at that stuff now.
Sure,
like
they do.
that. I don't think Coach Donnelly back in the day or those old coaches worried about that stuff. But nowadays, these guys look at that and they have to look and they have to see the overall picture. And if we don't win, I'm going to get fired. So is there any, like, if I'm not doing good, is there any way that I can kind of kick this down the road just a tad? And he's done that with these. You know, I don't know what he's going to do at the quarterback position, but with the running back, he's kicked the can down the road a little bit. That's for sure.
You've got a third insurance policy with Tristan Keys too, who was a 5-star wide receiver that they picked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Same situation.
Okay, when I said at the beginning of the show, busy day, boy, I meant it.
A lot of
It
moving parts.
was. Good job, by the way, in getting that press conference on live for us.
Thanks.
Well done.
George,
Okay, Kelly.
Do I get any overtime money for having to play golf with you today? No.
No.
4 hours hourly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
You'll give Lewis some, but you don't give me any. That's great.
No,
That's
he
awesome.
ain't. Let's put that on the record. No, he ain't.
He will.
He's a cheapskate. Okay, let's get to the business at hand. We have plaster bet of the day from last night. Let's start with that. Milwaukee. A team that has been consistently really good, got beat up a little bit last night by a bad Mets team. Now, I am not taking the Red Sox win in my win column because it didn't get played last night. It was
delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little day-night doubleheader today.
Well, that's humble of you to not.
Yes, it is. So they won game 1 to run their winning streak to 15 in a row. Any of you who saw this team 2.5, 3 weeks ago, nobody saw this coming. They just were not very good.
They've won 15 in a row. They're close to 500 right now.
So in the betting world, do you simply go with the Red Sox until they lose? Well, let's start with where I initially went, which was to take the Cubs at home, virtually at a pick'em against the Detroit Tigers. So Kelly asked the question, is there anything else coming?
Is there anything else coming, George?
Heck yeah.
Red Sox.
I just think you run this, you play this out until it doesn't work.
I think that would have been smart 14 games ago.
Well, yeah. I mean, and how many people saw this coming?
Nobody.
No.
You're right.
But when a streak gets to 7 or 8 in a row, that's what you hear a lot is people saying, I'm going to play it till it doesn't work. Well, you know what? A late addition, Kelly, to the gifts to the people.
Gifts to the people.
Absolutely. So we're taking the Red Sox. And if you're wondering, The Red Sox tonight are minus 125. Baltimore goes with Bradish. Boston goes with Eduardo Rivera, who wears number 99. And Kelly, anybody that wears 99, not a lot of job security. Okay, we're basically done for today. Tomorrow, we'll talk with Matt Moscona, who is as wired to the LSU football stuff as any human being. Danny Evans to talk Red Sox streak and a few other things. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. A much cooler day in the forecast compared to the past several. We're still in the upper 80s, but no triple-digit heat index values for us this go-round. And finally drying out throughout the afternoon and staying dry until we get into the upcoming weekend.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Welcome to Huntington Bank. We're new here, but we've been around since 1866.
Wow, that's a long time.
Long enough to know that insightful bankers, great products, and customer service make a big difference. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of three who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
You know, for parents, there's nothing more important than your child's